Ever notice how every person who ruins your week comes with a moral lesson attached, like a sadistic fortune cookie? Yeah, welcome to my life's work. People are not random. They are assignments. Some are teachers, some are destroyers, and some are just unpaid interns of your shadow self. And you, yes, you, keep acting surprised every time it happens. Oh my God, he ghosted me. No, sweetheart, he was literally hired by your unconscious to slap you awake. So next time someone breaks your heart, don't whine, "Why me?" Ask, "Okay, universe, what fresh hell are we learning today?" The setup, why you're screwed, and it's your fault. Let me be brutally clear. Nothing in your life is random. Not the manipulative ex, not the toxic best friend who disappeared after borrowing your hoodie, not even the random barista who spelled your name wrong for the 200th time. These people aren't mistakes. They're your syllabus. Cosmic assignments delivered straight from the unconscious Amazon warehouse. Prime delivery, no refunds. And here's the kicker. You don't get to choose the teacher. You get what your shadow orders. That's right, all the stuff you shove down, your fears, your neediness, your self-sabotage. It doesn't stay buried. It hires actors. Your ex, casted by your insecurity. That friend who ghosted you, direct booking from your abandonment wound. Every single character in your life is your psyche's unpaid theater troupe. You think I'm exaggerating? No, you're just bad at noticing patterns. And worse, you call it fate. Fate my ass. It's just your shadow doing HR. Here's the line you keep reposting without understanding. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Yeah, I said that. And you turned it into an aesthetic Pinterest quote with a sunset background. Cute. But the truth is uglier. Your unconscious is basically a terrible HR manager. It keeps hiring the same people for your life lessons until you get it right. You don't need astrology to explain why you keep dating narcissists. You need therapy. The universe isn't sending you twin flames. It's sending you unpaid interns from your own shadow. And they're here to work overtime. That's why the breakup felt less like a love story and more like a demolition crew, because it was. You needed to watch your illusions burn. You needed to see that your idea of love was actually just trauma cosplaying as romance. Harsh? Yes. Necessary? Absolutely. People are not soulmates. They're mirrors. You know that stranger who said something so specific it felt like God was subtweeting you through them? That wasn't coincidence. That was alignment. Translation, your unconscious decided it was time for a pop quiz. And that person who lit up your world, then ghosted you so hard you started checking your Wi-Fi, not betrayal. That was your shadow showing up in human form, holding up a giant neon sign, "Fix this," or repeat it again. People don't show up to make you comfortable. They show up to expose you. They reflect the parts of yourself you've been duct taping over since middle school. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every awkward coffee date, it's all spiritual surgery. No anesthetic. And you keep begging the surgeon to be gentle. Spoiler, that's not how healing works. The cosmic joke. You're both the student and the teacher. Here's the cruelest twist. While you're busy crying about who left you, somebody out there is crying about you. Yep, you're not just the student in this cosmic classroom. You're also the teacher. Sometimes you're the lesson in boundaries. Sometimes you're the walk-away moment. Sometimes you're the storm that burned down their ego. Congratulations. You're someone else's nightmare too. You're not innocent. None of us are. That's the whole point. We're all just reflections bouncing off each other, screaming, "Wake up!" until somebody finally does. The promise, why you need to keep listening. So here's where it gets fun. You think you've been abandoned, betrayed, rejected, but really, you've just been drafted into a curriculum you didn't sign up for. The one that says every person is an assignment.
And your unconscious is the professor who doesn't care if you cry. Stick with me, because in the next part, I'll break down how to stop mistaking these assignments for bad luck and start actually passing the class. And maybe, just maybe, you'll stop confusing spiritual lessons with Netflix dramas. But fair warning, once you see the pattern, you won't be able to unsee it. Every date, every friend, every stranger, it'll all look like homework. And trust me, you're already behind on your assignments. All right, let's rip this Band-Aid off. You call it destiny. I call it recycling. Your unconscious doesn't have a Tinder account, but it sure knows how to cast the same character with a different face. Every time you say, "This one feels different," the universe laughs in subtitles. Same role, new haircut. That's why your relationships look like reruns of a bad sitcom. The ex who manipulates you with crocodile tears? Episode 4, Season 2. The friend who ghosts you the second you need them? Season 3, Finale. The lover who walks out without closure? Pilot episode of every damn season. It's not romance. It's reruns. The only reason you don't notice is because you're too busy crying into your overpriced oat milk latte, pretending it was bad timing. Newsflash, it wasn't bad timing. It was perfect timing for your shadow to flex. You think you choose people. Shoot. You don't choose shit. People are chosen for you by the parts of yourself you're too scared to meet. Think of it like Netflix autoplay for your soul. You don't get to pick the next episode, your shadow does. And until you actually learn the lesson, the shadow will keep pressing next episode until your emotional data plan runs out. So when you say, "Why does this keep happening to me?" the answer is simple. Because you keep failing the quiz. You're the kid in class who keeps circling C for every answer, praying it's right. But life's not multiple choice, sweetheart. It's essay questions, and your essay still sucks. Let's kill the Disney fantasy while we're here. The universe does not send you a soulmate. It sends you a trigger in human skin. Sometimes that trigger is hot and charming. Sometimes it's toxic and broke. Sometimes it's both, which is the most dangerous combo, like tequila shots at 2 a.m. And here's the cruel beauty of it all. The more you avoid your triggers, the louder they get. That's why your relationships start like rom-coms and end like horror films. At first, it's fireworks. Then it's therapy bills. Because guess what? Comfort doesn't evolve you. Pain does. You don't grow when someone kisses your forehead. You grow when someone forgets your birthday and you finally realize your self-worth isn't tied to being remembered. You don't evolve when someone buys you flowers. You evolve when they betray you and you learn to stop watering other people's gardens while your own is dying. Let's just call it what it is. Your love life is a spiritual circus. You're the clown juggling unresolved trauma while the audience, aka your unconscious, laughs. Your partners? They're tightrope walkers, balancing on the fragile wire of your insecurities. Your friends? Fire breathers, showing you how much chaos you'll tolerate before running for the exit. And here's the fun part. You keep buying tickets to the same circus. New city, new performers, same damn show. That's why you feel like everyone is the same. They are. Because until you change, your unconscious keeps hiring from the same casting agency. So yeah, Maybe that toxic pattern you complain about isn't a curse. Maybe it's just your own shadow running the same script until you finally throw it in the shredder. Now let me be clear before you cry into the comments section. I'm not saying the pain wasn't real. It was. Betrayal burns. Abandonment cracks you open. Heartbreak makes you question your own value. But pain is not punishment. It's curriculum. I didn't say there is no coming to consciousness without pain, just to sound poetic. I said it because it's the damn truth. Comfort doesn't wake you up. Comfort tucks you in. Pain is the alarm clock. Pain is the professor. Pain is the final exam that makes you stop pretending you're fine. So when someone shatters you,
Stop asking, why me? Ask, what part of me needed this wrecking ball? Because until you answer that, the universe will keep swinging. And before you get too comfortable playing the victim, let's flip the mirror. You've also been the lesson. You've been the ghoster. You've been the betrayer. You've been the one who left someone crying into their oat milk latte. And guess what? To them, you weren't random. You were the cosmic assignment. Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's true. You're not just the broken-hearted protagonist of your tragic indie film. You're also the plot twist in someone else's movie. And that means you're not innocent. You're human, which is way worse. Now, don't panic. There's a way out. The more you heal, the less chaotic the people you attract become, which is good for your peace, but honestly bad for drama. Once you stop bleeding from your old wounds, the universe doesn't need to send in pyromaniacs disguised as lovers. You start attracting people who are, well, stable, boring, functional. And that's the real test. Can you handle a healthy relationship after spending years being addicted to chaos? Most people can't. They get bored and run back to the circus. Because healing isn't just about peace. It's about giving up your favorite addictions. So let me summarize. No, people don't come into your life by chance. Yes, every ex, every friend, every betrayal was assigned homework. And no, you can't drop the class. But here's the twist. Once you start actually learning, the assignments change. They get lighter, less catastrophic. You stop attracting hurricanes and start meeting umbrellas. But before you get there, you have to stop blaming fate and start reading the damn syllabus. Stick around, because in the final part, I'll tell you how to actually pass these cosmic tests and maybe, just maybe, stop repeating the same Netflix original series with different actors. So here's the part nobody wants to hear. Healing is boring. It's not candlelit journaling with indie music playing in the background. It's not a TikTok montage of yoga poses and green smoothies. Healing is looking in the mirror and realizing you're the common denominator in every disaster you keep blaming on fate. And when you finally accept that, boom, the circus closes. The unpaid interns go home. The universe stops sending clowns to perform in your love life. Why? Because the show's over. You passed the class. But let's be honest, most of you don't want to graduate. You love the drama. You crave the chaos. You say you want peace, but you secretly want the plot twists. Peace feels too quiet. And if your life isn't messy, what the hell will you even post about on Instagram? And while we're at it, let's kill another fantasy. Closure. If you're still waiting for that text, that explanation, that tearful apology, they're not coming. The universe already gave you closure when they ghosted you. That silence was the period at the end of the sentence. You keep thinking closure is a gift someone else hands you. Wrong. Closure is when you stop refreshing their profile like a digital stalker and finally realize you're the damn closure. You're the missing answer. You're the final scene. Waiting for closure is like waiting for Blockbuster to reopen. It's never happening. Move on. Here's the brutal truth. Every wound is a doorway, and the person who cut you open,
They weren't your executioner, they were your locksmith. They cracked you so the light could get in. That betrayal that shattered you, it also shattered the lie that you weren't enough. That abandonment that broke you, it also broke your addiction to external validation. That ghosting, it forced you to stop begging for loyalty from people who don't even like themselves. You didn't just survive them, you became someone else because of them, stronger, sharper, more awake. That's the paradox. The very people you curse at night are the ones who forged you. Pain was never punishment, it was preparation. And while you're crying about who left you, don't forget, you've also been the one who left someone else crying. Somewhere out there, someone is journaling about how you ruined their life. They're quoting me about you. That's right, you're not just the student.
You're the teacher. You've been the heartbreak, the trigger, the disappointment, the mirror. And that's the beauty of it. We're all each other's messengers, a bunch of traumatized pigeons delivering letters nobody asked for. Sometimes you're the one crying on the floor. Sometimes you're the one who pushed someone else there. And both roles are sacred. So what happens when you actually start to learn the lesson? The pattern shifts. When you stop needing chaos, the universe stops sending it. You don't attract soulmates, you attract mirrors of your healing. The healthier you get, the healthier your cast list becomes. And suddenly, relationships don't feel like demolition crews anymore. They feel like support beams. They don't trigger old wounds, they mirror your growth. For the first time, you stop asking, why do they hurt me? And start asking, why did I tolerate it for so long? That's the real upgrade. That's the spiritual rebellion. That's individuation. So no, it wasn't random. None of it. Not the ghosting, not the heartbreak, not even that one-night stand that ended with you crying in a Taco Bell parking lot. Every person was a cosmic syllabus stapled to your forehead. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every awkward goodbye was divine homework. And once you stop calling it fate and start calling it what it is, spiritual assignments, you finally graduate. You become whole. And maybe, just maybe, you stop mistaking narcissists for destiny. But hey, if you'd rather keep failing the class, that's your choice. The universe has unlimited patience and unlimited narcissists to send your way. And before you click away like you always do when things get uncomfortably real, listen. If this roast of your love life hit harder than your last breakup, smash that like button. It's cheaper than therapy. Subscribe too, because apparently you people only listen when dead psychologists explain your trauma with sarcasm. And share this with your ex, not because they'll learn anything, but because they'll finally see they were just a cosmic unpaid intern in your syllabus. This isn't just a channel. It's group therapy with worse language and better lighting. Stick around, unless you'd rather keep failing your soul's assignments.